It's time for some brain power. We're going to be talking about Hake Science, different from fake science, hopefully. Hake News. Hake Friends.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Good morning, guys.
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, good morning, guys. It is Sunday, June 9th, 2019, and that makes it almost 20 years since I graduated from high school. I graduated June 17th, 1999, out of the party line. And that means that Joel probably graduated 10 years ago.
Yep.
Dang. I remember my 10-year graduation thing where we held it in October. I went to my graduation thing all late because I was out on a date. And so I showed up at like 10:30. Only like 82 people showed up, max, maybe less. And I was the 82nd person. I kind of connected with a couple of friends that were kind of nominal friends, but it was kind of fun. It was at a hotel in Pasadena, and El Monte's like 20 minutes from there. Pasadena, where you at? Inglewood. Inglewood always up to no good, to quote the guy that's dead. So I wanted to talk about fake science, and I have a lot of news for you guys. And I want to get to you guys who want to comment on the demonetization adpocalypse, the Vox adpocalypse. Because this week, Jesse Lee Peterson channel got demonetized on YouTube. And it was so ridiculous because they took down 2 videos calling them hate speech when he was denouncing hatred. Jesse doesn't have any hate speech, believe me. But he, as if there is any such thing, right? But he was kicked off he wasn't kicked off, but 2 of his videos were shut down. Pulled down off of YouTube, no longer available to watch. One of them was when he took a call from a white guy that hates Jews, kind of sneaky and pretended to love Jesse. And Jesse called him out and gave a nice, perfect explanation of why you should not hate Jews and stuff like that, or anybody. But they don't want whites getting that message, apparently. They want whites hating. So they took that video down. And then they also took down a video of when Jesse called out Ilhan Omar. That video was when she was attacking, claiming that people only support Israel for the Benjamins. Politicians, maybe that's the case. Politicians are kind of selfish, whatever. So she may have a little bit of truth mixed in with the lies, but she hates Christians and Jews in America. And it's ridiculous, the people who are supporting her and stuff like that, being like, oh, she told the truth. And by the way, Jesse Lee Peterson and James Hake are now on Twitch by popular demand. All the cool kids are there. All the Zoomers, Gen Z. I'm Generation XY. XY? I thought it was Generation X until they came up with Generation Y. Then I was like, am I Generation Y? And Generation Y is the millennials. And so I was thinking about Gen X, maybe I'm Gen XY, and XY means male in chromosomes. I'll get to that later. But, yeah, we're on Twitch. It's excellent. I don't know if it's excellent, but it's cool. I'm excited. Twitch is where the Gen Z people, it's a gaming platform. Am I making noise? So, yeah, check it out. Twitch.tv/The Hake Report for me. And twitch.tv/Jesse Lee Peterson. No, sorry. Scratch that. It's not that. twitch.tv/JLP Talk. Jesse Lee Peterson was already stolen by somebody else. So it's JLP Talk on Twitch is Jesse's channel. And he'll be streaming church if all goes well. If Google doesn't have another blackout like they had last week. You know, I was not on D Live, but now I am on D Live. Last week I was supposed to be streaming on D Live, Facebook, Periscope, and YouTube, right? Now I'm on Twitch as well. But last week we couldn't connect to the D Live stream somehow. But now I am on on Twitch and D Live because everything is going well. Joel has it handled. CLC on D Live says Twitch is going to ban you faster than 90 going north. I've heard that Twitch was more strict than even YouTube. And YouTube is not that strict compared to like Twitter and even Facebook sometimes and other lesser platforms like pathetic medium.com is a pathetic platform that just bans you just for being a Christian. And then there are other platforms like Tumblr that'll ban you if the liberals start flagging you. So, yeah, that's interesting. But, yeah, we are on Twitch. Just wanted to shout that out. Thank you guys for the suggestion. I appreciate it. And so we started Twitches. And this past Thursday, June 6th, before I get to some calls, was our monthly men's forum. And y'all tried to be cute. It was so good. Oh, my gosh. The men's forums, the monthly men's forums, different from the annual men's conference, by the way. The annual men's conference is coming up this coming Saturday. I guess 6 days from now? Because it's Sunday now. It's going to be this coming Saturday. The day before Father's Day is the men's conference. But the monthly men's forums are open to men. It is not broadcast, not recorded. Private. What's said there stays there. But it was so Mamma Mia, hola, si senor, hold your wallet, etc. So good. Normally we've been arranging in a big circle. If you've seen photographs lately, this time we arranged a little differently, and people got up, told a little bit of their stories or their situations, and man, people are going through stuff, and it is so nice because these guys are like genuine, even though like most human beings and most even like so-called Christians and seekers and stuff like that are in that fallen state still. But they're as genuine as they can be, right? I guess, because most people are still fake in some way, right? But it was so nice. And guys got to feedback with each other on stuff. Some guys were tripping on stuff. Their job, what they think that their calling is. All kinds of things. People dealing with family situations. People dealing with relationships. So good. And it's good no matter whether a whole ton of people show up or whether fewer people show up. It's always so good. Because it's just real. It's so nice. So I highly, highly recommend the men's forums for anybody who's a male and wants to connect on real stuff. And then the men's conference is always fun. This is going to be stepping up to next level fun because it's not going to be at the Bond location. It's actually going to be offsite at the Renaissance Hotel. Go to rebuildingtheman.com for info on both of those things. rebuildingtheman.com/event, I guess. Or just rebuildingtheman.com. It's all there. So, man, it was so nice. Joel, you were there. Any comment about it?
The
men's forum.
Oh yeah.
Without letting anybody's personal info out.
Right. No, it was good. It was because I had to teach on Thursday, so I always kind of had to come late.
Right.
But I'm always glad that I make those meetings, even though I'm tired and
I know.
want to go to sleep. But I'm always like, every time I get there, I'm always glad I make those. There's just something about those Thursday meetings that are just really good.
They're a highlight. Like, yeah, I can relate because I went home about 4 or so. I took a nap, and then I got a call about 6:40, and the guy's like, "You coming?" One of the guys showed up. One of the guys couldn't even make it, but he showed up just to open up for us. That was cool. But and then he had to take off. But yeah, it's always definitely like a highlight. I never regret, even though no matter how tired. Oh my gosh!
I know.
But then by the end, normally lasts. Officially it's 7 to 8:30. This was 7 to 10.
I was just gonna say that this would even it was so good that it lasted till 10.
Yeah.
Man, I was tired, but it's worth it. It's definitely it's worth it.
Yeah, the next morning, Joel was doing push-ups because he's like, are you? And I didn't even drink any Monster after that, in the morning.
I don't know how.
Or Rockstar or anything. So, yes, very good. Man, those guys are serious. And the nice thing is, like, there's a lot of guys from around the country who've shown up from there, and people are really looking for the truth, or whatever you want to call it. They're looking for real life. So it's cool. So anyways, let me see. Let me get to some callers because you guys have been on hold for a while. Patrick out of New York. Patrick, how are you doing? Patrick, can you hear me?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yes. Are you on speaker?
Awesome.
Nice.
How's it going?
All right. You on speakerphone?
I took it off.
Okay.
I hope I'm clearer now.
Yeah, you're all right. You're all right.
All right. Awesome, man. Hey, man. The Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la.
It's a great song. Shout out to AJ and to Trevor who reprised it. Very nice.
You gave away your age, man.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, I
Good,
did.
man.
What's that?
You look good. What's that, 37, 38?
Yep. 37, 38.
White don't crack.
Yep.
White don't crack, man.
It's the washout. I'm getting washed out because I'm so white. So you don't see anything.
Well, it's all good. Man, that was a good point. You were talking about the men's forum a second ago?
Yeah.
I think there's like a tradition that's been lost in today's culture where men would naturally come together on a regular basis in like previous societies. It's
Yeah.
really dope what you guys are doing and what Jesse's doing, man.
Yeah. I really like it. It's so good. Mamma mia.
Sorry?
No, nothing. I was just talking. Go for it.
It's Jesse, man, getting demonetized, man.
Yeah, that's something, isn't it? But I don't, it's like kind of a necessary thing to happen because they're so liberal and evil. Of course they're going to do that. And so we'll see what happens. It's just one more step. Something had to break, and so they broke. They're betas, beta platform. But I'm grateful to YouTube because through YouTube we've been able to reach a lot of people. And so, hey, write it till it breaks down.
What I really
Move on to the next thing. It's kind of like pregnancies. A mother may go through like a nice easy pregnancy for one, and then maybe she'll have to get a C-section, and then she may have to get a really tough pregnancy, and
Right.
she may get setbacks and stuff like that. And then after that she has like a new kid, and this is producing. Now we're on Twitch. Well, that's kind of unrelated, but we're on Streamlabs, which we've been needing to be on, and we're on Subscribestar, and we have our PayPal link, Jesse Lee Peterson PayPal link up, so you can. There are all types of different ways to support, and I found out that what's it called? One of those things. one of those Streamlabs has another way of selling T-shirts. So maybe that'll be another alternative. So that's cool.
Yeah, what I like was when, I think it was Thursday, I can't remember what day last week, the actual clip there's up of Jesse's opinion on it.
Yeah, wasn't that nice?
So
that was unique.
You guys,
so
it's exactly what you were saying, bro. Like, one, it makes you stronger, but the way he explained it to me was like poetry.
yeah. Yeah, go on. Explain.
He was like, I mean, just the mentality, because he was saying to the effect, someone said, how do you feel about being deplatformed? And he was like, it's technically impossible to deplatform me.
Yeah, exactly.
I can always open my mouth and speak. He said, I'll speak to myself.
Right.
I'll speak to the rocks.
Uh-huh.
Dude, if you compare JLP's response to being demonetized to someone like
Yeah, any of those others, you don't have to name them, but yeah, any of those others, it's unique. It's like a good attitude, and I also liked how he pointed out how conservatives do it to each other.
right.
Isn't that nice? Because that's true. Like people don't realize that they're guilty of the same thing that they're mad about.
Yeah, man. I feel like if we all had that mentality, we'd defeat the system overnight, bro.
Yeah, totally.
Oh my gosh.
Because that's like
One thing
undefeatable.
One thing I wanted to ask you, man, because you've had the what's it called? Like, you've had the opportunity to see JLP like evolve over time. Like, I watch clips. I go back like 2016, 2014.
Yeah.
2002. There's clips up now of like 1992.
Right.
What have you noticed over time? To me, one thing I've noticed is he's like extremely consistent, even though he's more like free.
Yeah.
On how he'll express himself.
Yep. Yeah, I would say that he's more consistent. He's always been consistent, but he's stronger today than he was in the 90s. He's like, his voice is stronger. He was talking with a high-pitched voice earlier on, sometimes. And then like he's like stronger, and he says stuff stronger. Back then he used to talk about we referring to like the black community. I don't get why we have this problem. But now he says you guys because he doesn't have that problem. He's totally free of that mindset. He is firm now, like he's realized a lot more. He's realized that racism does not exist and things like that. And so and he's more on point than ever too, because he's able to say his message, and he doesn't have to necessarily always be talking about just the news or whatever, like that, stuff like that. Because a lot of people get buried. He would sometimes, I would get in trouble sometimes because I give him a lot of what he called politics. And in my mind, it's not politics because I'm not that into politics either. But he wants to get his message out about rebuilding men, about letting go of anger, about returning to fathers, about forgiving your mothers, stuff like that. That is, and it's nice, and people are catching on to it. And do the silent prayer and stop having sex out of wedlock. That is, and stop, and you don't need to be smoking pot. You need a clear mind. You don't need to be getting drunk. You don't need to be looking for reasons to drink. You need to be looking for reasons not to drink. All those things. Right. It's nice because people are millennials who I thought my generation was lost, are coming around. It's so cool. I appreciate it, Patrick. Right. Nice to hear from you. Are you? I forget. Are you coming to the men's conference?
This one I might not. I got some work stuff.
Okay.
I got some work stuff tying me up, man. But I'm gonna make a trip out there.
All right.
One of these days, man. You guys are on my list.
Yeah. All right. Cool, Patrick. Nice to hear from you.
Thank you, man.
All right. Make sure you catch church if you're not already planning on it. Church with Jesse Lee Peterson in an hour and 40 minutes.
You got it, man. Thanks.
All right. Take care. Mike, out of Washington State, I guess. Mike, how are you doing?
Yeah, Washington State. Great. How you doing?
Doing fine. Thank you.
Okay, so I wanted to elaborate because you guys had David Icke on earlier, and Jesse was speaking about how, you know, he didn't give answers as far as like who's in charge of the conspiracy. But if you remember what he said,
So David Icke, for those who don't know, David Icke is a conspiracy researcher in his mind.
Say conspiracy analyst, conspiracy researcher. And just a side note, it was all my research into that sort of thing that made me realize how spiritual everything is, because what he talked about was like the web, right? And in the center of the web is the spider, which he talks about is Satan. So he did give the answer, because if you look at, like, they have all the webs of the secret societies that go out around it, but the only thing that makes all the conspiracy, like this multi-generational plan that's going on, make any sense is when you look at the center of the web is the spider, which is the devil, Satan, whatever you want to call him. Because only something that is spiritual and all, like there all the time could have this continuity of this slow, methodical plan to societal destruction.
Is David Icke a Christian?
No, but he refers to it as good. He talks about good and evil. He looks at it in a bigger sense. But when he talks about the spider, that's the same thing that we talk about as the devil.
Oh, okay. All right.
That gives all these, you know, people, you know, like Jesse says, it's a spiritual battle.
Does he still believe that there are lizard people?
You know, I'm not too sure about that.
Reptilians?
But what he talks
Does he still
about
think Obama was a reptilian?
Yeah, I'm not sure he actually said that, but what he talks about is that the evil spirit that's in the middle of the web, the spider, operates through people. Like whenever you.
All right, interesting. Yeah, no, that's for sure. It does operate through people.
He describes it as, you know.
So you're a David Icke fan, Mike?
Well, no, I've listened to him. I wouldn't call myself a fan of anybody necessarily, but a lot of what he says makes sense, because he describes it as the way Satan or these evil interdimensional things, you know, these lower dimensions, whatever, which is the devil, Satan. It's like they control people. Like, you know, when you see medical people.
So how did you find Jesse's show or my show?
Oh, through Jesse's show. I've been listening to Jesse for like a year now.
Right on. How'd you come across him?
Totally changed my life. Like, I don't know, my wife called in a few weeks ago, and you guys titled the video, "No Woman is Good." And she was talking to, you know, let go of all my anger.
Nice.
I just deal with things on a whole nother level. It's been amazing. That's been the best year of my life. I got off pot, all kinds of other drugs, and it's just been freaking great.
Wow. How old are you, Mike?
41.
Nice. You have white babies?
Yeah, we have a white baby. We're trying to get some more white babies. Yeah.
Right on. Are you going to make it down to the men's conference?
No, I work. I can't make it. I would love
I understand.
to, but
maybe some year.
Huh?
I said maybe some year.
Yeah, definitely. No, I want to make it down to church. We're going to plan to do that in the future here.
Yeah.
But yeah, and as far as also the adpocalypse thing going,
right?
Like the previous caller said, Jesse said the perfect thing. Like, he could be out there talking to rocks or whatever.
Right.
You know, and that's But no, so that David Icke, going back to what David Icke, he talks about how the devil or whoever, it's like when you see the medical people working with some kind of like thing they can't touch, and there's like a box, and they have the gloves that go into the glove, you know, and they're manipulating whatever it is from the outside with the gloves in the box.
So he's kind of operating blind? Is that what you're saying?
What's that?
So he's kind of exploring it kind of blind. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying the way that the devil, well, the way he talks about these entities, or the devil, or whatever you want to call it, is the devil. But the way that they control people through, like, it's a spirit that goes.
I got you, Mike. Yeah, I got you. That's fair.
So I think that point was kind of lost on Jesse, but.
Well, I think because David Icke is kind of an intellectual, and he talks your ear off. So, anyways, Mike, it's nice to hear from you. Take care.
Yeah, all right. You have a good day, James.
All right, you as well.
Bye.
Bye. Let's see. Shout out to Twitch. Thank you, guys. And shout out to Done No Anger Too Nasty. Thank you for the Ninja Guinea. Wow. Super nice. And for the lemons and diamonds and ice cream. That's nice, guys. On D Live. Thank you, guys. And on the live dashboard, just let me check it out. Shout out to Get a Job. Thank you for modding for me. get a job is excellent. And by the way, oh no, that's the wrong one. White History Month is coming up in July, my birthday month. Excellent month and an excellent mug. White History Month. Very cool. Get your mugs, get your t-shirts, order them early because they can take some weeks to get out here. By the way, you guys can call in at 888-775-3773. Thank you to Periscope for joining you guys on Periscope. And you guys on Facebook too. Very nice. Try to keep up a little bit with the comments, so appreciate it. Bill out of Oregon. Been waiting a while. Bill, how are you doing?
All right, James. How are you?
Fine.
Nice.
You coming to the men's conference?
Yeah, I'm going to come down.
Sweet. That's nice to hear.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good lineup, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
Hey, I was wondering, are you guys appealing the YouTube thing at all?
Yeah.
I thought, like, it,
We
okay.
contacted them, and then we get to appeal in 30 days or whatever. So.
Yes, you'll just wait and see, kind of.
Yep. Yeah. Nothing Jesse
Yeah.
says is hateful, and they don't need to be cracking down on so-called hate speech anyways. That's communist stuff. It's
Right.
basically attacking whites and Christians and, people that are not politically correct. So anyways, what's up with you?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I called you before because I stopped sleeping with my girlfriend that she wanted to break up.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just, and it's like it's not going well. It's like
The breakup is not going well?
No, I'm suffering.
You broke up though?
Yeah, we're broke up. but then
She
we
broke
like
up with
to
you, or you
together.
broke up with her?
It's both ways. It's
All right.
happened.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good job, man.
Yeah, I
You
don't
did
know.
you did the right thing.
Maybe.
Can you tell that you did the right thing by stopping sleeping with her?
Well, I do feel good about that, and I feel as if it's, it would be hard for me to change course to go back into that, and I think that would be necessary to save the relationship.
Wait,
It's
you
just-
wanted to save the relationship?
I mean, I would if I would like to actually, but the only way to do it would to be start to sleep together again, I think.
Yeah, no, you don't want to save a relationship like that. You want to just stick with what's right. If she comes back to you, whatever. If she comes back to you, don't trust her. would be my recommendation, because people are really sneaky, and even they may not even realize their own ulterior motives. But
Right.
anyways, like, if she goes, you dodged a bullet, man. In all honesty.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe. Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. No, I hear you say that.
I got a text that said if you broke up with her, you wouldn't be suffering.
Right. Is that what Jesse said?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Jesse.
Oh, right.
But
Yeah. That David Icke thing. This week,
never mind
too,
him. I don't care about David Icke. I'm really not that
but I
interested
thought
in discussing it.
I thought that he actually, I thought you guys were like disagreeing with him about things that you really agreed with him on.
But there was no real disagreement. It was just like, it's hard to. He's a conspiracy theorist. So, and then
Right,
he's
but
and then
I
he's
think a lot of it is just like right out in the open.
right.
Like it's kind of like the same stuff that like when Trump. will
But
talk
he's
about
but he's
the fake
he's not
news.
forthright with how off he really is. If he's the one who popularized the reptilian conspiracy theory.
Well, yeah, we all sometimes can go too far.
That's not a we all situation. That's not a we all situation.
Yeah.
So whatever. I think that maybe we'll have him back and ask him about the real stuff that he's been saying. What he's
Yeah,
really
I
been
think
saying.
You should have him back. I thought
But,
he was good.
I don't know why these people are such David Icke fans. Anyway, Bill, looking forward to catching you at the men's conference.
All right. right, James. Have a good day.
All right, take care. I think it's because it relates to what Jesse said on the Fallen State, Jesse Lee Peterson on the Fallen State, when he interviewed the flat earther versus the Baltard, the guy who thinks that the Earth is a globe. He asked why whites are getting into this flat Earth thing, and it's because whites are under attack, especially young white men. And so it's causing them to retreat into conspiracy theories like flat Earth and blaming other people, like kind of like the blacks got into, stuff like that. So that's that. You guys can call in 888-775-3773. Basically, my point is losers become conspiracy theorists. That's why you see what's going on with the Democrats who are attacking Trump. They're conspiracy theorists. They think that Trump Russia. They think Trump is whatever. They think all kinds of madness. They think Trump is mentally ill when they're mentally ill. And speaking of mentally ill, there's before I get to my callers, I appreciate it, David and the rest of you guys. There's this pro-abortion grandmother, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She credited fellow Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh, Brett Kavanaugh, I call him Beta for a reason, for hiring only women on his law clerk crew. Can you imagine he has only females as law clerks? As promised during his nomination, he promised this. What a beta male. But I'm glad that we stood up for him. That's Justice Brett Kavanaugh. He was attacked during his confirmation hearing, accused of rape and all kinds of madness. So-called sexual assault by all these women from 34 years ago or more. And he's like a nice guy. He's like a typical nice guy. And he drinks beer. And back then he drank beer and he was wilder. But this guy, he promised to hire all women law clerks. So here's what, right? He looks so big, I highly doubt he would touch a woman. Yeah. He, here's a quote from our notorious RGB or RBG. He has kids. He's like a nice Christian man. Kind of too nice. Really too nice. And so it doesn't sound like he's much better from the attack on him yet, maybe. He's still you know how Justice Clarence Thomas got under attack, and he's still tough to these days, tough as nails. You can't break him. He is solid. But not so with Justice Brett Kavanaugh, apparently. And so here's what this pro-abortion grandmother / witch, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, said, according to The Hill. Quote, Justice Kavanaugh made history by bringing on board an all-female law clerk crew. Thanks to his selections, the court has this term, for the first time ever, more women than men serving as law clerks, she said, according to remarks released by the court. But women did not fare nearly as well as advocates, meaning lawyers. Ginsburg continued. Only about 21% of the attorneys presenting oral arguments this term were female. Of the 34 attorneys who appeared more than once, only 6 were women. Her remarks came several months after Kavanaugh, who was confirmed to the court last year after a fraught confirmation battle that centered around allegations of sexual misconduct, followed through on a promise that he made during the nomination process to appoint an all-female team of law clerks. Why would you promise that? By the way, I don't think I covered this. I have a pro-abortion tweet from a mother. Put that up. I meant to cover this on Thursday. Speaking of abortion, Ruth Bader Ginsburg is for abortion. Tweet from a pro-abortion mother, Rachel Murphy Azara. I live in Missouri, and I have an 11-year-old daughter. I want to be very clear to GOP lawmakers. You will not force our daughters to give birth against their will. I don't care if we need to create a new underground railroad. A reference to letting slaves go free, or sneaking slaves free through the Underground Railroad, until we vote each of you out. Don't underestimate us. So this woman talking tough, talking about she wants her daughter to get an abortion if she has sex and gets pregnant, if she wants to, force us to give birth against our will. Nobody forced you guys to have sex. So, such a mess. These people are so pathetic. And Giovanni A, shout out to Giovanni A. Good afternoon, fams. Hashtag Super Chats back. Yeah, I never lost Super Chats. Fran Rushy says, when is your birthday, James? I'm not telling. No, I'm just kidding. July 17th. Cool, huh? So David out of Kentucky. David, thank you for holding, man. How are you doing?
All right, James.
Hey. Wow. Hey, you're D. Martin III.
Slow down on the D. Martin.
Okay.
I'm just David.
Okay.
And last week, I tried to
Sorry about that.
send some money to Jesse,
Yes.
and you can't do it no more.
Right. Super Chats are down as of Thursday last week.
Well, I'll tell you what. My birthday's September the 3rd, and I'm flying to San Diego on the 30th on Saturday, and I'm coming to church on Sunday, and I'm going to celebrate my birthday on Monday and Tuesday.
Cool.
And I want you to teach me how to send a message and put money on it.
All right. Yeah. You know, I took some screenshots, but I took some screenshots of this because somebody else emailed me. And so maybe I'll email you those screenshots because maybe you can take, you have an email address, right? Email me, james@jesseleepeterson.com. james@jesseleepeterson.com. Or also, whatever.
Well, my name there, that's my email.com.
Okay. No, you'll need to give me more information than that because that's not enough for an email address. It's something. It's something.
AOL.com?
Oh, at AOL.com?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool.
Man,
I'll email you.
And it took me 2 hours, James, to watch The Fallen State.
Why?
Because every time I would turn it on, it would shut off and go to something else. And then right in the middle
Yeah, you're talking
of the
about
show,
Church or The Fallen State?
The Fallen State.
On Friday?
Yeah, with Ron Jeremy.
Wow.
It took 2.5 hours to watch that show because it would either cut off and put something else on, or if you go to it, it would be something totally different.
You're using your mobile phone? Are you using a mobile phone?
I have a 65-inch TV,
Okay. Huh.
you know,
That's odd.
and it took 2.5 hours to watch that show yesterday because they just kept cutting it,
Yeah.
and they'd go to something else, and I would go back and go all the way back, and slowly I did it, and
Man, that's nuts.
it was weird.
Do you have any friends who are young that can help you with technology?
No, I wish I did, buddy.
I understand.
I wish I did. God, I wish I did.
Well, I look forward to meeting you come September.
Yeah, well, there's a super. I've been there twice.
Okay.
On my
You've been
birthday,
to
and
church twice over here at Bond?
No. There's a band in California that's
Oh, okay.
really big, and they're my friends.
Oh, nice.
And so it just so happens that this will be the third year that I've flown out just to see them play.
Wow, that's cool. All right, man.
Yeah.
Well, looking forward to meeting you.
I like your Bond T-shirt.
Thank you. Yeah, this is actually a prototype. There's a new and improved one by going to rebuildingtheman.com or jesseleepeterson.com, and you'll see the Teespring store for Bond Rebuilding the Man. It's teespring.com/stores/rebuilding the man. teespring.com/stores/rebuilding the man. So that's where you can get the Bond T-shirts, or you can come to Bond and buy them.
Is it very hard, James, to find
We have them in black.
your church?
No, it's right here on Pico and La Cienega. Currently, that's our current location. So stay tuned in case we happen
Is
to
it going to
move.
be there in September?
Who knows? Maybe we'll move. Maybe we'll stay. So just keep up with us. Just stay. We'll
didn't
we'll
know
be
if-
announcing it if we happen to move. It's
Okay.
rebuildingtheman.com/church. You have internet access on a mobile phone,
Yeah.
do you?
Yes, sir.
And you can always call Bond 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663.
right.
We'll hold on to that phone number so that if we happen to
I'm
move,
all
you can
excited.
call us
I'm
and
all
find out.
excited about meeting you on Sunday, there, the 1st of September.
Right on. Looking
And,
forward to it.
Yes, sir.
Nice to hear from you, David.
You have a great day, sir.
All right, take care. So, before I get to the rest of the calls, I want to run through this. I took like way too many notes today. So, I'm Generation X, I thought, and now I'm Generation Y. Maybe I'm Generation XY, which is the male generation, as opposed to like the beta male generation. Maybe. So, I was looking up XY chromosome for some reason. I Googled it. And I have this information from infogalactic.com. Infogalactic.com. Females have 2 of the same kind of sex chromosomes, XX, and are called the homogametic sex. Homogametic. And males have 2 distinct sex chromosomes and are called the heterogametic sex. And so I take that to mean that's why the so-called homosexuals act kind of female because they're homo something, and whereas the females are 2 of the same XX, they have the same homo chromosomes, homogametic. So that's some Hake Science for you. So here's some more science. I came across this meme on Pinterest that says evolution is just a theory. Show this meme. Evolution may be just a theory. This is an atheist meme, but your God is just a hypothesis. So here's this meme. Oh yeah, it's in that folder. You'll see the meme in a sec. And so it goes on to describe this. People are rolling their eyes about this Hake Science thing. Yeah. Evolution may be just a theory, but your God is just a hypothesis. And then it has a picture of a guy who looks like that gay guy. What was that gay? Never mind. There's a famous actor, Doogie Howser. Never mind. I don't want to get into that. So then it goes on. Go into the next one. Number 2, it goes on to say hypothesis versus theory. A hypothesis attempts to answer questions by putting forth a plausible explanation and it's yet to be rigorously tested. And you can't really name, that's ridiculous. You can't really name you can go to the zoomed in one of hypothesis versus theory. So like, that's ridiculous. Belief in God has been like for millennia, right? And then it says a theory, on the other hand, has already undergone extensive testing. How did you test macroevolution, where whole species changed? You did not test that. Thank you. So they're dumb. And they go on and on and on. And so I went after them with like snarky comments to their snarky comments. But I'll skip that stuff for now because that was just beta male stuff. I got, it's useless to argue with people. Don't get into arguments. So I'll skip those dumb comments that I had to their dumb comments. But yeah, there's your science for the day. Carl out of Chicago. How are you doing, Carl?
Hey, James.
Hey.
All is well. How about you?
Fine, thank you.
All right. Well, before I say anything else, I want to thank you for, all you do on Jesse's show. And is Joel there?
Yeah. You can thank him too.
Yeah.
You want to thank him?
Yeah, I do want to thank you too for everything you do on Jesse's show. You guys do a great job.
Appreciate that.
It's clear that the show is getting better over time.
Yeah.
I like the new intros. I like that. You know, you guys have that news segment. I think those are all really good ideas.
Nice. Appreciate that, Carl. Yeah, I feel that we have drastically improved. We've added a whole nother hour to the show while staying inside of 3 hours because we got rid of all those breaks.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's all good. Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah. Cool, man. Anything else?
All right. Well, yeah, you know, I heard you say a couple episodes of just a show ago that, you know, you don't really know or agree with Jesse, you know, however you put it, that all thoughts are lies. And I thought that was like one of the most interesting things I've heard you say. So I'm calling in to talk a little bit more about that if you got the time.
All right, sure. Do you see that all thoughts are lies? Or are you like me where you don't quite get it?
You know, I do. I like to think I know I get it. And it's interesting that you had David Icke on the show.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, because I think David Icke is pretty cool. You know, he's got those 9-hour-long seminars on YouTube, and you know, I'm able to just sit through it all. It's I really take it in. So.
You have a job?
Yeah, I mean, what's that?
You have a job?
Yeah, I have a job.
Okay. Just curious because if you sat through a 9-hour YouTube video, I was just making sure that you had a job too. Anyways, go on. Side note.
You're funny. All right, so, but I think David Icke has sort of the same message that all thoughts are lies. He says that it's a signal that's coming from space, you know, and it's beamed into our brain, and then all that stuff that's coming in are those thoughts, you know, and I also think there are other ways to see it, you know, like more, you know, God-like explanations that it is Satan, and he's out there sitting on our shoulder, and he's just whispering to us all the time, but we can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you ever have moments where you're like going throughout your day, and then you realize that you haven't been paying attention to what you've been doing? You've just been on autopilot, but in reality, you've just been having like thoughts. You've been lost in your thoughts. You know what I'm talking about?
I was thinking about this where you get into a higher pressure situation and then you get lost in your thoughts real fast and you do like the kookiest things, make a fool of yourself, and they call in sports they call that choking. You choked because you got nervous or something, and
I guess. You know,
that's an example of that. I think.
Yeah.
So I can kind of understand that. That's nice. And you know, I'm one of those people that believes in the Bible, I think, because I don't think I fully believe in God the way I should. So like, the Bible agrees with him where it says take every thought captive and stuff like that. So as I'm reading in Twitch TV, twitch.tv/the Hake Report, Nibblenut says, bring every thought into captivity of Christ. Don't let your imagination run away with you. Be aware of what you're thinking about and return your thoughts to God when your mind starts to stray. Ah, there you have it.
Yeah. So, in the silent prayer, she also says that it's like the wind, you know, thoughts are like the wind. We don't know where they come from or where they go.
Yeah.
And I think that's a pretty good message in the end.
The spirit is like the wind. The spirit is like the wind, I think it says. But anyways, I guess maybe that's the same thing. Well, that's like the evil spirit.
It's true.
Oh,
but,
Joel, can you open that?
Don't worry about this. Don't worry about where it's really coming from.
Okay.
I think that's what he means by, it's like the wind. It comes and goes. We don't know for sure. So don't worry about whether it's coming from Saturn's rings, like Ike says, or whether it's Satan.
Right, that's true.
Well, and that's really my message.
Cool, man. I appreciate that. That may help.
All right. Well, I would like to hear more about your, experience with the Bible, like you said, and
all
what
right.
you just said about God is super interesting. So, maybe in the future you can talk more about that, because I
Okay.
think, we're kind of in the same boat, and it'd
Are
be
you-
interesting to hear.
Are you
somebody
coming to
else.
the men's conference, Carl?
I want to, but I just don't. I don't have the money, man. I'm coming into some money right now, but I'm going to have to use that for some more urgent stuff.
Okay. Yeah, we'll catch you sometime. In the meantime, catch church. You watch Church with Jesse Lee Peterson?
I should watch more church, but I've only seen like one episode, and it was good. But
You
there's no
have
reason not
you
to.
have time to watch a 9-hour YouTube. You have time to watch church. And this
Okay,
church is like no other.
okay. Yeah.
This church is like
You're
no
right.
other.
You
I
got
love
me.
the church services
You got
too.
me.
They're excellent. All right, Carl, nice
All
to
right.
hear from you, man. Take care.
All right. Well, it was good speaking to you. Bye bye.
Yeah. All right. So let me get to some more of this information. Speaking of beta males, this is according to The Hill. Beto O'Rourke, I don't have any picture of this, I don't think. Beto O'Rourke and his wife Amy participate in the Des Moines, which is Iowa, hashtag Pride Fest 5K. So he ran a race for homosexual pride. Twitter and they gave a Twitter hash flag for the hashtag Pride for so-called gay pride. Shameful, man. Ridiculous. The world is so backwards. So that's just a little news item for you. He's Beto O'Rourke is not going to win for president, but he's kissing up to the gays, kissing up to the worst in the gays actually, because you don't applaud wrongdoing, but he is. Trump on MSNBC's parent company Comcast. I don't have this tweet either, Joel, but he talked about how the hatred. He watched MSNBC just to get a little hint of the other side, what the opposition is saying. And it's interesting that he calls a media company the opposition, which they are. It's accurate. But he said that the hatred they have, he called out Comcast, who owns MSNBC. He said the hatred that Comcast has for him is amazing. Amazing. Maybe he's been listening to Jesse. Later on, he tweeted, if you don't hit back at the media, the fake news media, because he said, some may say it's not presidential to hit back at the media when they attack you. But he pointed out, if you don't hit back, people will believe that the fake news is true. And isn't that what Jesse has said, where if Trump wasn't tweeting, we wouldn't know what's really going on because the media are such liars. So that's nice. I do have pictures of these. Trump has a new nickname for Nancy Pelosi. He called Pelosi Nervous Nancy. He's called her this 3 times in a matter of 2 tweets since Friday, Saturday. And it's accurate. She's not stupid in the sense that she's very cunning. She's very cunning and evil and politically smart. She's been around forever. So, yeah, she wields her womanly, but this more Satan type evil powers. I remember she kissed John Boehner. I remember a story of where she kissed John Boehner, who used to be the Speaker of the House. And since after that, he was like a puppy dog. Like he couldn't even oppose her. John Boehner's supposed to be a Republican, but he's a rhino. And he's no longer there. Thank God. But yeah, she is a nervous person. I remember he was in the Oval Office with her. Trump was in the Oval Office with her, with Nancy Pelosi, and with Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer is a total beta male. And then Nancy is kind of his leader, but she's like a nervous person. She's like, oh. And then he has her, he dominated that whole conversation. Trump did. And so, Nervous Nancy. I think that name may stick. We'll see. Here's another tweet from Trump. Twitter should let the banned conservative voices back onto their platform without restriction. It's called freedom of speech. Remember, you are making a giant mistake. Remember freedom of speech, Twitter? and all these other platforms. So he's calling them out. People, some conservatives or Trump supporters or former Trump supporters or never Trump supporters are all impatient with Trump about not cracking down on these attacks on the First Amendment principles by the social media companies and these media companies attacking conservatives and outright physical attacks on Trump supporters. But he has a lot of stuff that he's dealing with. They need to be patient and chill out. Relax. Because you can't be relying on Trump to do everything for you and fight your battles for you. It's ridiculous. I came across this weird headline. Just wanted to point it out. Just a side note. I didn't get to talk too much about blacks today, and I think my black fans are getting disappointed. Not the black fans that are over their black, that are past their blackness, but the ones that are into their blackness. There's some trolls, I guess you would call them, but they're always on. They love our show regardless. So are blacks ahead of us, whites, in everything that they try? This is a question that came into my mind when I saw this headline. The Hill reports, California inmate may be the most prolific serial killer in U.S. history. And it was a picture of a black guy. What the heck? I thought all serial killers were white, according to the blacks. According to the black Hebrew Israelites, I mean. Because they say the nastiest things about whites, like they call whites pedophiles, serial killers, mass murderers, and terrorists, and school shooters, and whatever else. And Neanderthals. Crazy. But, so it's just kind of funny, but not that funny. Serial killing is not good. Here's an idiot. The Hill reports, I'm going to try to run through this real fast. Chris Pine, according to The Hill, Chris Pine on Trump's MAGA slogan, Make America Great Again. He says, quote, what period of history are we talking about? Jim Crow? And here's a picture of Chris Pine. He's like a year older than me, my age roughly. Chris Pine, and I was like, who is Chris Pine? So I looked him up on Wikipedia. Chris Whitelaw Pine, born August 26, 1980, is an American actor. And he's famous for a bunch of chick flick movies and science fiction movie, different from Hake Science movies, and other things, Wrinkle in Time, blah, 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 blah. And let's see. Oh, he's a liberal. He went to Berkeley, California. I guess he has both parents, but his parents were both actors. His mother's like a psychotherapist. So, I mean, he can't help it. He was raised in a liberal environment, and he actually thinks that Make America Great Again means Jim Crow. And maybe Jim Crow days were better than today because we didn't have as many abortions, we didn't have as many murders, we didn't have as much degeneracy. So maybe so. I don't know, Chris. And he says, here's what he says about God. I definitely have a spiritual outlook. I am not a religious guy. I'm probably agnostic. He got a DUI in New Zealand in 2014. Could cut him some slack. He's an actor, living the wild life. But politically, he has called himself a left-leaning liberal, and he has stated that both Democrats and Republicans are kind of on the same side. But he said during the 2016 campaign, he got that Trump derangement syndrome, along with fellow Star Trek coworkers, J.J. Abrams, all these other people, Zoe Saldana, George Takei, the radical homosexual Japanese guy who was in the old Star Trek, and a bunch of others, endorsed a movement called Trek Against Trump, and the movement supported Hillary Clinton. Beta! So that's that. November 1st, 2016, Pine, along with Joss Whedon. I recognize this name. I associate it. I don't know details about him, Joss Whedon, but I associate this name with fairly severe Hollywood Trump derangement syndrome. They released a video together urging people to vote in the upcoming elections, while the video was a parody of Congress in general. It was attacking Republicans specifically. So there you have it. Just a bunch of Hollywood madness. Being liberals is silly to, they just kiss up. There was this picture. There was this, never mind. There were the atheists, the liberals, a lot of times they kiss up to this black victimhood stuff, and it's just so pathetic. Let's see. Oh my gosh. More super chats. Jimmy Morgan says, love the Hake Science. Amazing. And my B-Day's in July too. Right on, Jimmy Morgan. James, a great name, Jimmy. Scott says, James, those 10-year-old episodes of Church you upload to iTunes are amazing. Thanks. You're welcome, Scott, and thank you for the requests. We try to serve you guys. Jordanos Desta, I also like D Live now. Hi! Let me open this chest. I'm going to open the chest, guys. D Live. I'm opening the chest right now. So click it. Boom. Opening the treasure chest. For you guys on D Live, click the chest. Shout out to my top contributors: Done No Anger Too Nasty, Army Ann, CLC, Tion. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, Tion or Teon, and Super Dave. Thank you guys. Congratulations to those who got the chest, who got the treasure chest benefits. All right, guys, Church with Jesse Lee Peterson. Go to rebuildingtheman.com/church. You can find Jesse on twitch.tv/JLP Talk. And also on YouTube, Facebook, and Periscope. Thank you, guys. Take care. Bond Rebuilding the Man on those channels.